Yo, we are back again. I just found out some dev notes came out right now, so we're gonna go through them quite quickly and see. Obviously, you saw me in a video about 7 Deadly Sins Origin. I want this game to do well. If you don't want this game to do well, don't say anything about the game. Then everything's okay, and the game dies. But luckily, because I actually do care about the game, we won't be doing that. And thankfully, the devs feel the same way. Then they're giving us these dev notes. So we're gonna go through them very quickly and see what they say. Let's get started. So, PDQ, my guy. So they did an Ask Me Anything, and they gave a wide range of opinions. The development team were able to take a close look at aspects of current gameplay. They find it inconvenient. Which is great. They should always keep doing that. That's one thing I love about this dev team. They actually care. Like I said last time, they actually are trying to listen to us. Moving forward, we will continue to create opportunities we can regularly hear from you, which is amazing. So there's an update. It's scheduled to release eventually over the course of 2 weeks. Yeah, that's cool. Part 1, focus on reducing fatigue and burden of repetitive gameplay, which is amazing because that's the main problem. Gameplay is repetitive because there is no content. I don't think they're going to add a lot of content this time, but hopefully they're working to improve that. Because right now, all you do, log on a game, do dungeons, that's it. But okay, part 1, reduce fatigue with repetitive content. Also improving progression paths. Cool. That's one thing they also need to fix. Because it's so expensive to build a single character, we need to get more resources. Like, you break a platinum rock, you should get way more than you do. You're able to farm way more platinum way more easily. Farm all the materials for mastery more easily, because that's the main thing holding us back. Building characters should really just be focused on the gearing. It shouldn't be focused on actually leveling up those mastery stars. Remember, we have 3 weapons, so there's tons of materials we have to farm. So instead of being able to get our video out day 1, it take me like 5 days to build Escanor, which is insane. But hopefully they're working on it. And in part 2, they're going to introduce more diverse gameplay experiences, like I said, through events, systems, and content. So all you guys saying that, oh wait, this game's fun. No, it's not. Look, they said themselves they need to add more content. So the dev notes are going to go through that. Alright, part 1. Engrave system improvements. So a lot of people are reaching a stage where we engrave equipment. That's true. So we've already beat the main quest. That's one thing you should realize, that the main quest is already beaten it. However, current equipment system determines both quality and passes randomly. Obtaining both high quality and desired pass at the same time currently requires a considerable amount of time. True. In particular, we see that many Star Guardians repeatedly craft equipment for certain heroes in order to obtain desired passive levels, which is true. I haven't done that. I've just taken what I've given because it just takes too long. Again, it just takes too long to farm all the pieces, get the drops that you want, and then roll for the right passive. It's too expensive. So as the game is designed around the experience of growing multiple heroes or utilizing various ability and T combinations, a dev team believes that current limitations surrounding engraving equipment quality and passive acquisition do not fully support the intended gameplay experience, which is amazing. Accordingly, in this update, we plan to introduce a new system that allows players to reset the quality and passes of existing engraved equipment, enabling players to make more meaningful use of the equipment they are using, which is amazing. With this new feature, we hope to provide a progression path where players can gradually improve and refine their existing equipment. Amazing. Obviously, amazing update. The updates they do put out, they are good quality wise, but it just need no content. This is an amazing system. My main thing is that it should also be faster to get the pieces. Like, make the crafting, when you want to craft a new piece, not as expensive, because it really shouldn't be that expensive to craft a new piece. Let's say you're missing the belt only. It takes a lot to craft the new belt. It should just be like very cheap, so I don't have to go farm the dungeon 5 times just to craft it. But that's an amazing change. Another engraved equipment quality and passive level change features added. New items that allow players to separately change the quality and passive level of engraved equipment will be added. Amazing. As performance difference between engraved equipment can currently vary significantly depending on passive levels, we would like to provide a feature that helps reroll. Amazing, just like they have in Grand Cross, where you use the hammer to reroll the passive levels. So they should add that. So they, rather than repeatedly crafting the same equipment and consuming the limited brilliant engraved seal. Amazing. These items used for changing quality and passive levels can be obtained through crafting. We also prepare to allow them to be crafted using Transcendent Essence and Sunstone Alloy. Okay, used for crafting remnants of the Rift. Okay. In addition to these items will be added from the drop rates for Abyss difficulty bosses and challenges. Amazing. A separate item will also be introduced allows players to increase equipment quality with guaranteed success. Ooh, so like goes from like a purple to a gold. That'll be sick. That'll be very helpful. Okay, that's really, I like that. That's very good. Hey, reduce crafting material remnants for the rift. Amazing. Makes things way more cheaper, because I think what they've realized is that it takes a lot to do things in this game. Like building a character is extremely expensive, building weapons is extremely expensive, and games shouldn't be around building, because yeah, it's cool to build and farm, but this is not a farming simulator. You want to use characters in fun and diverse game modes. So slowly reducing the amount of material it takes to build characters, you can now build more characters, and then eventually they add more content. We have a wide range of content to use characters on, which is the goal for this game, hopefully. So that's amazing. Just make it cheap. Cool. And then Hell Abyss difficulty time limit removed. Abyss serves at the difficulty of the highest level of content before time-space junction. However, with the addition of this place, it's more about timing. Okay. So yes, amazing. They take time limit off. I don't need a time limit for farming. I'm literally just there to get my materials and go. Amazing. Again, they've kind of, because they didn't have an in-game mode from the beginning, which is a problem, they had to turn the dungeon into the end-game mode, which is why they had a time limit. So they basically turned a farming stage into an end-game stage. So now hopefully, as they're adding more content, they can make farming easier, remove the time limits, things like that, and actually add new content. Which is one, was bad because they should have released the game in that state, but it's good that they're addressing it, which is amazing. And then difficulty dungeon route improvements. Many Star Guardians share feedback regarding Abyss difficulty stages, mentioning that not only the time limits, but also the travel routes. Yes, it takes so long to get through a dungeon. Obviously, that's sick if that was an actual endgame mode, like a labyrinth mode, where it's like a, how do I describe it? Like Labyrinth from Grand Cross. If they added that mode, but into an open world game like Origin, that'd be sick. I'd love to do that. Kind of like Simulated Universe from Honkai Star Rail. But when I'm trying to farm my equipment, I just want to kill the boss and go out. So it's great that I've seen that. So through this update, the starting location in Abyss difficulty, we changed that players can immediately begin the battle. Yes, and then they'll meet the final boss. Amazing. And then to help reduce player fatigue, certain Abyss difficulty dungeons will have their routes adjusted with this update so the boss bosses can reach more quickly. Amazing. Again, I really feel like they turned the farming stages into the end game stage because they had not finished the end game stages. So now they're reversing that, which is amazing. Great job. Higher difficulties added to mastery. Oh my gosh, yes. Finally. So now we can get more gold quickly and more mastery growth dungeon stuff more quickly. So we see in particular the gold dungeon was only available up to nightmare difficulty. There was a big difference between the gold we get and how much we need to spend. So you see that many Star Guardians are using these dungeons specifically for gold farming and mastery progression. So they plan to add Hell and Abyss so that we can also get way more coins and way more mastery stars. Perfect. That's great. Now for part 2. It's about improving and centering on more diverse gameplay experiences and elements that can be enjoyed with other Star Guardians, which is amazing. So, through part 2, they're gonna introduce new cooperative gameplay and community phone systems. Codes of Hearts. This first seasonal event introduced through our previous roadmap, Echo of Hearts will soon begin. For this event, we plan to use a small-scale event story along with a new event dungeon. Amazing. Okay, again, it's kind of like what Genshin does. They have a event come out, there's a story alongside it, and you have a bunch of different gamers that come alongside of it. Amazing. They finally got around to actually adding content in that marble. I'm loving this patch note so far. It's looking very good. And then it's a designed content where 2 players cooperate to solve puzzles. Oh, yes, finally, content. Oh, this is sick. You can also do it solo. Again, catering to people that don't have people that play the game with them. Amazing. It's very casual, light-hearted. Again, but we want the casual and the different. Oh yeah, this is amazing. That marble you cooked. And then dungeon party matchmaking. Now you can do dungeons with your friends. Nice, that's sick. And make it a more natural environment for enjoying content together. Again, as you can see, I'm not always negative about the game. When they do stuff like this, it's amazing. Look, it added more content, actual content that is not as difficult, more light-hearted, just to enjoy the game. Adding more content that's harder with Time Space Junction, they've taken the limits off the farming stages, because they're meant to be farming stages and not the endgame content, and the game's gonna be way more fun. I'm telling you. Again, region chat and auto translation features added, which is sick, allowing us to talk to people that aren't in the same language as us. But I see the game has a lot of like French players, I'm pretty sure, and Spanish players. I don't speak French or Spanish, so it'd be good if I was able to communicate with them. So auto translation feature, hopefully it's good. Hopefully they just take it from like Google Translate, maybe use some AI, and hopefully it'll work out. And that's fine. I just saw this title. This is sick. Again, give people things to work towards. Boss challenge and Time Space Junction leaderboards. Alright. Whoever gets the fastest time, they get a leaderboard. Rankings will be determined on clear times. Nice. And at the end of each ranking season, players will obtain special titles. That's also amazing. At the same time, we're fully aware that some fans will feel burdened. As such, this content prepared will focus on honorary rewards. Nice. Exactly. You should also make things that cater towards free to play and cater towards the whales. Obviously, the whales are going to go for the titles because they have the ability to go for it. Us, that are free to play, we just want the rewards. So if cater towards both, maybe just make a title for beating Time Space Junction and then make a title for ranking high. That would be amazing. And that sounds so good. Combat assist mode. In particular, we noticed that many start are less familiar with action games, as well as playing mobile environments, are experiencing difficulty with tag and dodge. As content becomes more difficult, players are required to utilize not only attacks, but also tags, dodge, and skilled combination simultaneously. Our development team is also aware that to make the overall difficulty relatively high. Combat assist modes, kind of like in the level and rise, help you easily adapt to combat and continue progressing through the game. Design simplified control of healers and skill usage and will be provided as a separate option that can be turned on and off. It will first be applied to mobile devices, and based on the feature review, you'll see it adding it to other platforms like PC and PlayStation, which is amazing. Again, that is sick. But also, as you can see, it's a lot of mobile players. I really think the main thing is optimizing mobile. If mobile runs smoothly without needing a really good phone, then it'll probably be easier to actually go along with it. The probably reason why it's so hard to go mobile is a lot of people just have mediocre phones, and 7 at least since Origin hasn't thought about that and hasn't catered towards that. Me, I've got a decent phone. I've got S25. I can play any game on that phone maxed out. It'll be fine. But if someone has like a, I don't know, S20 or like a iPhone 11, 12, it might not run as well. And then it becomes hard to actually play the game. The phone might be lagging. So focus on optimizing the game. This is also a good step to help them. Okay, Elite and Field boss respawn improvements. We have noticed that many Star Guardians are repeatedly reconnecting through the login screen in order to hunt Elite and Field bosses for specific materials. At the same time, we also find that repeatedly going through loading screens and reconnecting during this process is contributing to player fatigue. In particular, given the current gameplay for many Star Guardians, this style of gameplay has naturally emerged a way to farm materials more efficiently, and we believe there's no need for this, which is true. There is no need. The fact that you've given us 3 weapons we need to farm for, with mastery nodes, 4 of them, each of them, they should respawn more quickly. And we don't need to be doing the log out, log in method, but okay, let's see what they say here. Accordingly, we can shorten the respawn time after rewards are obtained through elite masters and field bosses, allowing players to continue repeat gameplay more smoothly without unnecessary recollection processes. In addition, through this update, we're also preparing further improvements such as allowing insufficient material bundles to be used immediately and reorganizing the item category structure in the workbench to be more intuitive. That's amazing. My idea is do what Wuthering Wave does, is where when you beat the guy and you collect the rewards, you can, it's like a node that comes up. You can just press it and it re-summons the boss. I think that'll be sick. Instead of, obviously the boss is wide in the open. Once you kill it and you click the cube to select the rewards, there should be a button that just says respawn, and it should respawn straight away. I don't know how that works for the code, but that'll be a 6. Then they say here, rather than simply focusing on adding new content, this update has been paired with a stronger emphasis on improving and refining actual gameplay experience. Even after this update, we plan to continue introducing various improvements based on existing content. In particular, we have improvements to time-space junction that will separate the recommended heroes by sector, allowing a wide variety of heroes to be utilized. That's cool. A dev team continues to follow closely the gameplay every day, and we consistently see many start enjoying their adventures across Britannia, both progressing through growth content, farming quickly and effective, generating new combo strategies, and sharing feedback. Warhammers, thank you guys. Of course, we're fully aware that some areas need improvements, even so, we can listen carefully to feedback. Thank you, sincerely. Alright, now Marvel, you have cooked. I am extremely happy with these dev notes. You've hit everything on the nail, except for this last part. Instead of adding new content, try to refine gameplay. You should always be trying to refine gameplay. That's one thing a game should always be doing. But in my opinion, why did I do that? In my opinion, I really feel like adding more content is the main thing. Because again, you're seeing player fatigue. The player fatigue is coming because there is nothing to do. This is the gameplay loop since Origin. Once you beat the story, you just farm. You beat Time-Stage Junction, and all you can do is just farm. That's basically the main thing everybody's doing, just farming. So as you said, you're adding a new Echoes of, what's it called, Echoes of Hearts? That's great. New content that allows us to play. Once you add that new content, people will be encouraged to get onto the game. The reason why certain games, like again, I'm going to go back to Honkai Star Rail because I think that's one of the best gadgets out right now. It has I think 5 endgame modes right now. Obviously it took them a long time to get to that point, but even from the start, they had Memory Chaos, Simulated Universe, and those are very 2 in-depth endgame modes that have a lot of content. Think about it. Simulated Universe is a roguelike, meaning that it's randomly generated every single time. I don't know how possible that is for this game, but if they could work something like that, that would provide a lot of content for us to go through and delve into. And then in the meantime, you can work on the connection issues, the gameplay loops, all of that. That's sick. But having fun and exciting content to go to will cause people to want to come on the game regardless of that. I remember back in the day, Wuthering Waves, it played terribly. My computer couldn't handle it. I had a bad computer, but because there was so much content I wanted to go through, I still persevered and played it, and over time things got better. In that same way, you should focus on adding good and fun content to come onto, and in the meantime, because this is a process you can do at the same time, it's not one or the other. And in the meantime, then you can think about, okay, we're going to optimize this, optimize that. But what you've done so far is a great step in the right direction. I'm loving the fact that you realize what the problems are and you actually listen to the community. So I can't ask for anything more. This is more than enough. I guarantee there's some companies that would not do this. They'd see our complaints and they'd forget about it. This is amazing. So thank you, Marvel. Keep cooking. And let me know your thoughts. Do you think they've cooked? Do you think this is not enough? You just tell me in the comments. But apart from that, I hope you guys have a blessed and wonderful day. God bless you always.